So far, I've made it about halfway across the main Japanese island of Honshu on local trains. Now I'm in the city of Toyohashi, where an old streetcar network not only thrives, but also features the tightest curve of any tram or train line in all of Japan. Good morning, I'm still Jeremy, and I'm here in the city of Toyohashi in Aichi Prefecture, and my trip across Honshu with local trains only has brought me here. This is a decent-sized city, 370,000 people or so, and the population's not falling too much. It's doing pretty good. And one thing this city does have that a lot of cities in Japan no longer have is a tram system. The tram system of Toyohashi dates from 1925, and it features, amongst other things, something that no other tram line or no other train line in Japan has. So I'm gonna go find the end of the tram line here. It starts here. This is Toyohashi Station, the big station, JR station, and other lines, and the Shinkansen stops here. And I think there is a pass that I can buy, an all-day pass, so I can get on and off as much as I want to. It rained all day yesterday and all day this morning. I woke up this morning in my hotel to the sound of hard rain, and today is sunny, which means super humid. So I'm excited about that. Okay, here we go. Streetcar ahead. The entire line is pretty short. It's a mere 5.4 kilometers, all of it. It's one line, and then there's one tiny little branch line at the end. And the tiny little branch line is the part I'm most looking forward to. Okay, this is it. The end of the streetcar lines in this area. They start here at Ekimae tram stop, and they continue out there. And vending machines for tickets, and I want to buy the pass. 1 day free pass. Adults 550 yen. Excellent. Okay, here's my pass. All day, get off and on as much as you want for 550 yen. Here's the map. Here's where I am now. It starts here. The red and the black are kind of the same thing. Just one of them stops here at Keirin Jomai. One of them goes all the way to the end, Aka Iwaguchi. And then some trams, they go to all the same stuff, except here at Ihara, they branch off. And this branch off right here at Ihara is the most notable thing, I would say, about this tram line. So the schedule generally is this. Today's a Sunday. What time is it now? Like 9. I think I'm waiting for the 9:50 train. Time is it? 10:04. Whoops. Okay, I'm waiting for the 10:10 train, which is red, which goes, well, it doesn't matter. Any of them will do from here. All rides are the same price. I think it's 200 yen for adults. Not for me, I got my ticket. Anyway, you have to pay up when you get on, not when you get off. So we're stopping at Shinkawa now, and the tracks are about to veer off to the left. And until 1976, they also veered off to the right over there, where that guy with the blue hat is walking. And they went down another 4 stops down there, but it was removed in 1976. And in fact, across Japan, lots and lots of tram systems were removed in the 70s. But this one has had additions added to it since then, so it's one of the few in Japan that have actually been not only maintained, but even added to in recent years. And the thing to note is that this curve we're about to do is a regular tram curve, a typical radius, and that's what we have to note on this trip today. That's the big point of today's tram ride. Normal, graceful curve from one angle to the next right angle. Simple, wouldn't you say? All right, I wanted to get off here at Fudagi for something, and so we pulled up to the stop and we stopped. And there was one door marked exit, and I went and stood by it, and there was no button to open the door, and the door wasn't opening. We were just sitting there, and I was like, what's happening? Is he going to open the doors? And nobody was waiting to get on. So I went back to talk to the driver. I was like, I want to get off here. He's like, oh, okay. So he opened the door, and I was like, am I supposed to press a button or something? He's like, yeah, you press the button. Oh, all right. So anyway, I'm here at Fudagi. I'm just going to walk to the next station here. Sorry, not the station, the next stop. And wanted to show you something over on that big walkway over there where my tram is going. All the tram stops so far have had these like cool, kind of old-timey looking lantern signs on them. The first thing to notice is in these parts, there are 2 tram lines. It's double tracked here, the first few stops by the station. This is the busier part of town. And it does get single tracked later. Wow, makes a difference being on the shady side. This is great. That's the direction that I came from. So the tracks go down here, they turn here. So this intersection, you can see they curve off to the right like that, and they go straight down there. They don't turn anymore, just go straight and ends down there after a few stops. But the thing to notice about this curve here is this is another typical curve, just like the last one. So as a quick review of high school geometry, in case we've all forgotten, I had to look this up again. So the curve goes down there. If you imagine the curve as being just part of an actual whole circle, imagine that the curve continued out there. The center of that circle to any point on this curve, for this curve would probably be, I don't know, a few dozen meters or something. And that's pretty much normal. It's the radius. So the radius of this tram curve is maybe 20 or 30 or 40 meters, something like that. And that's typical. The one that I'm looking for later is Japan's smallest radius. Trains have to go, or trams have to go, kind of turn and pivot in place and then continue down. It is very weird, and it's very funny looking when you see it, so that's the branch line. I was on the walkway up there, and a lady came up to me, and her husband was nearby, and she said, "Excuse me, do you understand this area?" In Japanese. I said, "What?" She said, "Where's the station? Toyohashi Station." I said, "Well, it's that way. You can take a streetcar, but it's that way." She's like, "Okay, thanks." I've only been here a day, and I'm already giving directions to Japanese people how to get around. I think this is the Toyohashi City meeting area and community space. Every community has one, and that is a very nice one. Look at that. Cafe to Wanpaku, and a lady without a cart. Boo. So there are several tram cars, of course. Most of them run parts of the day. They're different models. The latest model is called the T1000. And its nickname is the Hot Tram. and it runs, I think, once an hour. It has a low floor, so it's easy to get on and off it. That's kind of its big selling point. But it's so new, the new technology, that it can't handle the tight curve I'm going to go see later. I saw one briefly earlier this morning, but hopefully get to ride one before today is out. The blinking sign says the train is coming. And hey, look, it is the latest version of tram cars here, the T1000 from 2008. All right, I stepped off the T1000 at Kadingjo-Mai station, and this is kind of another big deal for this tram line because this is the way I was going. So I could have continued down here, my tram continued, but as you see, it's only one track. So I'm gonna go investigate the story of that here. Why is there only one track here, but two tracks down there? We're far enough outside of the busy part of town where they don't really seem to have lights for the pedestrians as much here. You sort of use your own wits. So here's where it happens. That is town. That's the center of town, the station, everything. Tracks come out here, and right here, they merge into one. And about half the trams, or some big portion of the trams, only go as far as this tram stop. They don't go beyond here. So beyond here, there are fewer trams going in, back and forth in both directions. The trams that only go this far, they can curve around on this little side track and park here. As you see, that one is parked there. So there's enough space for two cars to be parked here, two trams. And also, this is kind of like a field office for the tram company, Toyohashi Electric Railway. And they have driver changes. So I just saw a driver change on that tram. And so from here on out, it's only single track. The branch is still down there, but there just aren't as many trains going this far. It's really on the outskirts of Toyohashi. And that's where I'm going next. I'm going to go next all the way to the end of the main line here, and that's where the big depot is. So hopefully when I get there, I can see a bunch of different trams parked in a colorful array of Toyohashi trams. A windy day to go with the humidity. Can I just cut across? I'm cutting across. I'm just wondering, trams that do stop here, once they've pulled into this station, they have to back up and then take the little side thing? Is that how that works? Possibly. And I guess that also means if a tram does pull up here, I have to look at the sign and see, is it stopping here or is it continuing forward? If it's just stopping, only going as far as here, then it doesn't do me any good. Ah, okay. This tram is not going to the end of the main line, it's going to the end of the little branch line. So I'm not doing that yet, so I'm going to let this one go and wait for the one that keeps going straight. I'm starting to get a hang of the schedule here. So that one that just left is 10:59 with the kind of green circle. Now they come every 10 minutes all day long on Sundays. There's red squares, there's green circles, and there's white squares with red writing. So the red on white or white on red, that's the one I want for Aka Iwaguchi, which is the final stop of the main line. The circles are the ones that go to the branch line, and the red text on the white square, that's the hot tram, the new kind. The T1000 is back, heading back to the station. Okay, only 2 more stops on this main line, and I'll get off at the last one. Okay, that's where the branch line goes off, and I'll go down there later on a later tram. Okay, this is the end stop, Aka Iwaguchi, which means gateway to the Red Rocks. And I looked around and there are actually no Red Rocks, which is some historical name, unfortunately. Anyway, that tram is going back to the station, the train station, in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna miss it because I'm gonna wander this area a little bit because I want to go see the end of the tracks and I want to see the big depot, the main depot of the tram line. All right, right here in front of this barber shop. The actual end of the tram lines, right here in the middle of the road. Maybe I can get out, wisely stand in the middle of the road here and get footage of them. All right. Okay, so here it is, the end of the line, and I'm gonna go look at the depot. So when the line wants to swap out a train, like if it doesn't want that car to run anymore, it wants to swap it with a new one, or if that one's retired for the day or something, it'll continue past the stop, go down there to the end, and then go forward and curve off. You can't see it behind this white car. Curve off on this line to the big depot. Unfortunately, this is private property and I can't really get there, but that's it. Spaces for 6 trains to be parked, 6 trams to be parked. Well, 6 lines and several trams. I think there's a little street. If I go on some side street, public street, I can get to the back, get a closer view of all the trams parked. All right, the next tram leaves here. They leave every 20 minutes here to go back to the station. I could either you know what, I'm just gonna walk to the penultimate station. I assume this road cuts through. Okay, so here I am at Ihara tram stop, and this curve right here, these tracks that curve off to the left here, and we're just about to watch this tram negotiate this curve. This curve's radius is 11 meters. It's the tightest curve of any tram or any train in all of Japan. Here at this nondescript little out-of-the-way tram stop here on the Toyohashi tram. And by the way, it's kind of fitting because the tram is decorated with Mega World. Mega World is right here. It's this big eyeglasses shop. Awesome. Originally, it was just one straight line here. They just added this branch line down here in 1982, and the streets were already laid by that point. They didn't want to knock the buildings down and stuff, so they had to just make it super, super, super tight. Shinkansen curves are several hundred meters, the radius. Normal trains and even normal trams are 30 or 40 meters maybe. 11 meters, by far the smallest in all of Japan. It is 11:37. I want to take the 11:41 train down there. Okay, here's the plan. The tram's gonna come over here, gonna go around this curve. It'll stop here, pick me up, and we'll go one more stop to the end of the branch line. I'll get off there. There's a park near there, a big park, and we're gonna go explore the park a little bit. And then I'll get on a tram there and come this way, and I will be on the tram when it goes on the curve. Because of the tightness of this curve, some trams can handle it and some can't. Like that T1000 can't, but they've had to modify some of the other ones just so it could. They've had to shave stuff off of the bottom of the tram so it could make those tight curves. It's all sort of improvised here, this whole line. Okay, Undo Koen Mai, which means beside Undo Koen, or like exercise park. This is the park called Exercise Park. There are places to exercise and also places to just walk around and look at a nice park, I think. So check that out because it's important to know why the tram line was built to come here in 1982, this branch line. Okay, here it is, the actual end of the tracks. I believe, according to a map, there is a big pond in here somewhere. So I'll see if I can find the big pond. I did bring my drone, but it's way too windy for that. And when I say the map showed a pond, I didn't actually understand the map. I don't know which way it was oriented, and wasn't sure it was a pond. But it was something. So I'll just wander about until I find something. All right, this is a nice park. I think it's worth a tram ride to come out here. I'm glad that there's some big jewel bonus at the end of the branch line. Some reason to come out here, other than the curve. But speaking of the curve, I can't get it out of my mind. I'm gonna get on the next tram that goes back all the way to the other end, the station, train station, and I'll be on the tram that actually is flipping around on the curve. Okay, I'm back here at Ekimae, the other end. One thing I didn't mention that just reminded me, there are two specialty trains sometimes, I think twice a day. There is a beer train, it's called the beer hall train, and I guess they serve beer, and I don't see any mention of it on the ticket thing. Maybe you have to go to an office to buy it, but it just, I think, goes from here all the way to the end and back or something, and they serve you beer, something like that. And then in the winter, there is the Oden train, Oden sha, which is a joke, a pun in Japanese, but Oden is a kind of a winter warm food snack thing. And I like Oden. I had Oden on a Ferris wheel once in Osaka in a video that not many people watched, but I enjoyed it. Okay, so that's it for the look at Toyohashi today. What a cool town, what a cool tram system. And something to check off my railway list, the tightest curve in Japan. Speaking of checklist, here's the actual checklist. Abandoned bicycle, interesting statue or figurine, motor scooter, obachan with cart, notable bird, cartoon drawing on sign, graffiti, lots of graffiti, hair salon, tree cut into circles, car elevator, beer vending machine. So, also speaking of things to check off your train checklist here in Japan, the next ride, the next video is going to be a train ride. I'm leaving on a train tomorrow, and it is only one train. Local train, because that's the rule, but it is Japan's longest local train ride. It's from here northeast up to a town called Okaya, and it is 6 hours and 59 minutes. The longest scheduled local train, 95 stations, I think, or 96 stations, and 7 hours. And it starts tomorrow afternoon, so it's going to be quite a ride through some very, very, very rugged and very obscure mountain scenery, including many stations which have no road access even remotely. It's a very, very strange line, and that's tomorrow. So thanks for watching this video, and if you want to watch this whole trip in more detail, you can do that on Patreon. And for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Special thanks this week in random order to Will Phillips, Ray Nichols, Matt Kane, Russell Davis, John Pfeiffer, Samantha, and David Ridgely. Thanks for wandering around Toyohashi with me. Everywhere is worth exploring.